You are listening to Greg and his friends talk sports. 10 to 20 minutes every day, Greg and his friends are talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about. Every day on the Central Indiana Sports Report.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Central Indiana sports fans. Whenever you've chosen to tune into the Central Indiana Sports Report, producer Susie and I welcome you. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, and this is my new podcast, Greg and his friends talk sports. Pretty self-explanatory. 10 to 20 minutes every day, my friends and I are talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about. Coming up, our national sports guy, Will Retherford, talks about the importance of the USA hockey's gold medal over Canada. Michelle Garmon of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood call leader was at IU's women's win over Oregon on Sunday, and she will join me to talk about it. Plus a look ahead to later in the week for the Crossroads men's and women's tournaments. More on Sunday's boys basketball sectional draw and the top seeds and local seeds at the boys swimming state finals on Friday and Saturday. Thank you so much for joining us. My friends and I will be back tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and the day after that and the day after that. USA men's hockey won its third Winter Olympics gold medal ever and the first since the Miracle on Ice 46 years ago on the final day in Milan, beating Canada 2-1 on Jack Hughes' golden goal in overtime. It's the first time the U.S. has ever won the gold medal away from the United States. And who better to talk about it than our national sports guy, Will Retherford.
Greg, we got to witness one of the greatest hockey games in the history of the sport, and it was incredible. I think it's one of the most country rallying hockey wins ever, perhaps. I think that I've seen more engagement with the sport of hockey, perhaps right now more than ever, I think is the best way to put it. And, you know, for the folks who aren't aware of hockey, the United States won the gold medal game today against Canada by a score of 2-1 in overtime. Jack Hughes was the golden goal scorer. Greg, you know, sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good. And I think today it might have been the example of that personified in a way, because they got completely outplayed by Canada. The shots were 42 to 28 in favor of the Canadians. Connor Hellebuck played absolutely incredible in goal for the United States.
Hey, Will, go take a look at the stats from the 1980 semifinal against Russia, and you talk about being outshot. Sometimes all it takes is good goaltending and good timing, man.
And that's exactly what happened. He was their best player on a day that he needed to be. This Canadian team is perhaps the best hockey team ever assembled, probably. I mean, their fourth line players are all-stars in the NHL. I mean, we're talking about a team that is filled with star power. They have speed, strength, and puck ability. They're a phenomenal team. Where they didn't have the advantage, I think, was in goal. I don't think Jordan Binnington is the netminder that Connor Hellebuck is. He's played great for Team Canada over the course of his international career. He's not really ever been as good as he was his rookie year when he won the Cup with the Blues in 2018. That doesn't matter, though. This is the international stage. I think it's just great for the sport of hockey in the United States for them. I think you will see hockey numbers skyrocket in youth engagement over the course of this year. This is just what happens when teams like this win a gold and it rallies the country behind, and you see the sport grow exponentially. And I think it's great for the game. It's just an incredible game. It's the beauty of soccer with the scoring of lacrosse. I'm so glad to say that I've been a hockey fan for my entire life today, that I was able to truly watch and enjoy this game for everything that it was.
Very cool. My Twitter stream was filled with people celebrating the victory. Very nice. Indiana's women won for the fourth time in 6 games to improve to 15-13 on the year. Shea Shesky went over 1,000 points as a Hoosier in the win. My friend and Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader sports editor Michelle Garmon was there, and here's her report. Michelle, things look pretty bad for IU's women. They were 0-10 in the Big Ten. Now they've won 4 of their last 6 after beating Oregon on Sunday, and got a good recruiting class coming in. The young kids are playing well. Now suddenly things are starting to look good for that program.
They really are. The disappointing thing is, obviously, is today was senior day for Shea Chesky. Now, IU does close out the season next Saturday on the 28th with a home game against Penn State, Shea's first, the team she began her college career with. But I'm guessing that they had senior day today because the IU men play at home the day after the IU women next week. So that allows all of the support staff to get out earlier on Saturday since they have to come back on Sunday for the men's game. So, but it was a great senior day. The crowd wasn't too bad considering the weather. A 1:00 start on a Sunday with the weather like it was, I think, kept some people at home, but still a decent crowd. And Shea Chesky delivered. She came into this game today because she missed the USC game because she rolled her ankle in that morning's shoot around and could not go after attempting in pregame. She tried to play against UCLA and rolled her ankle again and early in the game and never went back in. And against UCLA, she scored 2 points. And I'm guessing the only reason she really tried to go against the UCLA game so quick after turning that ankle is because she needed 9 points to score 1,000 for her career at Indiana. She'd already has 1,000 for her career between the two universities, Penn State and IU, but she needed 9 to get it at IU. She struggled early with her shot, I think. It's been my experience in all the years that I have covered athletics that when players get close to those milestones that sometimes the shots don't fall. It's on your mind just a little bit because you want to get it and you really want to get it so you can get it out of the way. She did end up getting that out of the way in the first half and I believe had 9 points at halftime, and she finished with 20 for the game. And I'm gonna give Oregon credit. They're long, they're tall, long arms. They doubled her, which put the ball on the ground. They blocked a couple of her shots. They had a really nice defensive game plan for it, but Shea Chesky shows why, even though IU has only won 4 Big Ten games this season, she shows why she belongs on that first All Big Ten team, because she was a difference maker. In the fourth quarter, she got loose, nailed 2 big time pressure threes, and got to the line, made free throws, distributed the ball. Lene Beaumont hit a huge 3 with around 2 minutes to go in that game from the top of the key. IU played very well in the first half. They led by 13 at different times, went into halftime up 9. Oregon tipped away in the third quarter. IU came out, couldn't hit shots, and they had opportunities, and IU probably missed 3-4 layups, and then probably another 3 to 4 shots inside of 5 feet, 8 feet. And then they had some turnovers in that third quarter and allowed Oregon to get down within 2 points. Oregon actually took a lead in the fourth quarter. IU got it back. Oregon took another lead. And then that's when Shea hit big time 3. Then Odessa Noyan played outstanding today as well for the IU. Beaumont and freshman Maya Makaluski continues to do really well. All 4 of those players finished in double figures. Shea had a team high 20 points and also dished out 6 assists. Her and Beaumont each played 39 minutes today, and Makaluski played 36. The IU women, I'm telling you, they can create if they make that Big Ten tournament, and I really believe they will. I think the key for them is going on the road Wednesday and winning at Rutgers. I think they'll beat Penn State at home next week. and that would get them in the Big Ten tournament when I looked at the standings the other day, because that would keep Penn State and Rutgers, especially if IU wins this week, they can't surpass IU. And so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
So,
big win on Wednesday.
yes, if they can get in the Big Ten tournament, they're good enough. They can win a game or two. They're that good. Their two losses were last weekend when they made that trip out west. They were in that USC game without Shea. UCLA, they just, with their big girl hurt and UCLA's size and everything, that was a game that going into this season, and once Z, and I call her Z because I get tongue twisted every time I try to say her whole name. She is a UCLA transfer, the sophomore. But when I knew she couldn't play, I was like, that's a loss. UCLA just has too much size and beef in there, and they're physically stronger, especially with IU starting 2 freshmen. And then once Shea went down, you knew that wasn't going to happen. But I'm going to give our freshmen credit in that game too, and even Beaumont, but Nevaeh Caffey and Makalewski just kept fighting in that game. And I will say this, a pleasant surprise for IU this year has probably been the other senior that was honored today, and she was transfer portal. She's a 5th year, or she's at in North Carolina at North Carolina something Central. She transferred to IU when she got really very little playing time early, very little, and I was impressed by her when she got on the floor, even though say very little time early, although she made a huge play and a huge shot for IU to get the win at Florida State early in the season. I liked her because she is so quick. She's usually, when she's on the court, she's the fastest player on the court, and she's really fast with the ball too. So I like her. Her time she started getting more and more time, and I really think that early on, her time probably wasn't as good because she is so short. She's also the shortest player on the court when she's out there. But she's super quick. An example of that today, she got a defensive rebound at the end of the first quarter, I believe. Defensive rebound with like 6 seconds to go. She dribbles full court, and it was so funny because Nguyen was running down to run the play. She turned around and she saw Journey coming. She sidestepped to let her go. She dribbled all the way down and hit a little runner at the buzzer, went to the baseline and pulled up a little runner from about 8 feet, knocked it down at the buzzer. She beat the horn, and she dribbled her way through traffic a little bit too with Oregon. And that was impressive. So I was glad to see she stepped up and played really well. Caffey struggled today. The third quarter, she had some 3 turnovers, 2 bad passes, a bad offensive foul. She got into foul trouble. She picked up quickly her 3rd and her 4th set. Came back in the 4th and was only on the floor like 3 or 4 seconds and picked up number 5. But Journey stepped in and played really, really well. Her senior video, where they give their speeches in video form and they play highlights and everything, and you guys can find it just on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Just go Indiana Women's Basketball and you will find Journey's and Shea's videos. Watch them. They're pretty good. And both women, excellent speeches afterwards. Very eloquent speakers, sound great. And so I was happy for her to have a really good senior day. And she's been a real contributor for IU. And I'm going to guess probably even more so than what the Indiana staff thought, maybe, just because of her lack of height. And we all know, because in the Big Ten, UCLA's tall, Maryland's tall, Iowa's tall. Ohio State is lanky and stuff. There are a lot of tall, lanky players in the Big Ten. So it can be a matchup problems when you're like probably 5'2". I don't know what they list her at, but truthfully, she's probably only 5'3", maybe 5'4". If she's got a nice cushion and heel in her basketball shoes.
Michelle, thanks so much. We'll talk again very soon about the Hoosier women.
Okay.
The women's Crossroads tournament gets underway Tuesday with Indiana Wesleyan at Huntington, Taylor at St. Francis, Grace at Marion, and Bethel at Spring Arbor. On Tuesdays, Greg and his friends talk sports. My friend Kevin Helfrich previewed the women's tournament. We'll have his men's preview on Wednesday. Not a lot going on around the country in sports on Monday, but we do have a couple of big college basketball games. Number 21 Louisville's at number 16 North Carolina at 7. At number 2 Houston at number 8 Kansas on Big Monday, with 3 of the expected top 6 or 7 in the NBA draft on display. Kansas' Darren Peterson is the predicted number 1 pick despite an up and down season. Houston's Kingston Flemings is predicted as the 4th or 5th pick, and Louisville's Michael Brown is predicted to be the number 6 pick at Tankathon. Good time to return to tankathon.com and predict what will happen on May 10th for the Pacers in the draft lottery. Right now, the Pacers have the 2nd worst record in the NBA to the Sacramento Kings. So the Kings, and the Brooklyn Nets all have the same odds for the number 1 pick and a top 4 pick. Hitting the Sim Lottery button on Tankathon, and it's Cameron Boozer of Duke at number 3 for the Pacers. And if I could take anyone for the Pacers, that would be it. The psych sheets with the top seeds and local seeds were released late Sunday. Carmel is favored to win its 12th straight state championship and 26th overall. The prelims begin on Friday at 6. The top 16 return to race on Saturday. The top 8 in each event will swim for a state championship Saturday at IU Natatorium in downtown Indianapolis. We'll just go down in the order that the races are going to be competed. In the 200 medley relay, Carmel is the top seed, Oak Hill 5th, Fisher 7th, Noblesville 9th, and Westfield 12th. In the 200 freestyle, Carmel has the top 3 seeds with junior William Allen and seniors William Lathrop and Lewis Zeng. Hamilton Southeastern senior Camden Bailey and Westfield junior Zach Welsh are seeded 4th and 5th. Oak Hill freshman Cooper McQuiston is the 13th seed and has a chance to advance to Saturday. Carmel senior Yi Zhang is the 200 IM favorite by over 3 seconds. His sectional time is 0.23 seconds slower than Will Modulin's state record of 1:43.37. Good chance that one goes down. In fact, if any record is broken on Saturday, that looks like it'll be the one. Hamiltonite senior Aiden Clark is seated 18th. Bloomington South sophomore Peter Kovacs is the 50-meter freestyle favorite at 20.38, 1/100th of a second faster than Franklin senior Lucas Ackerman and Homestead senior Logan Pawinski. Fisher's junior Alex Koo is the 4th seed, and Oak Hill senior Cale McCann is the 5th seed. Mount Vernon's Ozzie Jankowski is the top seed in the 100 butterfly. Oak Hill senior Cale McCann is seeded 3rd in 49.12. Fisher's Alex Koo is 4th, and Carmel's Jack Street 5th. Delta junior Samuel Stokes is seeded 32nd. Carmel has the top 3 seeds in the 500 freestyle, Alan Zeng and Austin Bruford. Zach Welsh of Westfield and freshman junior Caden Askren are seeded 4th and 5th. Hamilton Heights senior Aiden Clark is the 14th seed. In the 200 freestyle relay, Homestead, Carmel, and Fishers the top 3 seed. Then Center Grove and Oak Hill. Pendleton Heights is seeded 23rd. The 100 backstroke, Carmel senior Carter Hadley is the favorite, just ahead of Mount Vernon's Ozzie Jankowski. In the 100 breaststroke, Franklin's Lucas Ackerman is the top seed ahead of Yi Zhang of Carmel. Oak Hill senior Evans Bledsoe is the 12th seed. It's going to be a great day for Oak Hill. And Carmel, Homestead, and Penn are the top 3 seeds in the 400 freestyle. The diving regionals are on Tuesday. Locally, the divers will compete at Fort Wayne Southside. We have 9 local divers who will be there. Fisher seniors Mason Lawson and Kirby Denglade. Lawson was the sectional champion at Fishers. And Carmel sophomore Alric Mansberger was the sectional champion at Carmel. Also competing Tuesday will be Westfield senior Brian Vandal and sophomores Beck Bennett and Noah Keys. Pendleton Heights senior Nicholas Radcliffe, Yorktown junior Ty Filkowski, and Muncie Central freshman Tycho Howe. The top 4 at Southside will advance to state. Now looking to some local high school boys basketball, only one game on Monday. It's 17-3 Sheridan against 8-13 Benton Central. We'll have a recap on Tuesday's show with Daniel Bragg of Bragg Sports Media. The local draws that were held late Sunday by the IHSAA will start in Class 4A at Lafayette Jeff in the north. It's a 4-team sectional. Semifinals are on Friday, and it's 9-12 McCutcheon against defending champion 15-7 Harrison. Then 15-7 Jeff against 16-6 Kokomo. Kokomo beat Jeff 62-57 in overtime on January 30th. Kokomo, Harrison, and Jeff all have to be considered serious contenders. Class 4A at Noblesville, still in the north on Tuesday. It'll be 11-10 Noblesville against 12-10 Zionsville. And 13-7 Westfield against 13-9 Hamilton Southeastern. The Royals ranked 12th in 4A. The Rocks have won 4 in a row. The Royals have won 6 in a row. Hamilton Southeastern beat Westfield 57-54 on January 16th. Number 8 Carmel and number 1 Fishers drew first round byes. And the local 4A sectional in the South on Tuesday. It'll be 10-10 Muncie Central against 6-18 Richmond. The Red Devils beat the Bearcats 66-64 at Richmond on January 16th. The winner gets favorite and defending champion 4th-ranked Mount Vernon in Friday's semifinals. On the other side, the host Cougars are 10-11. They drew a first-round bye and will face Tuesday's winner between 14-7 Anderson and 17-4 Pendleton. The Arabians beat Anderson 58-50 at Anderson in the season opener. In Class 3, all 3 sectionals are in the north. At Belmont, defending champion Marion is 5-14, and they drew a first-round bye. They'll face either 12-8 Norwell or 16-6 Heritage in Friday's semifinals. On the bottom half of the bracket, 5-15 Mississinawa plays co-favorite New Haven, which is 16-6, in Tuesday's second first-round game. The winner gets 7-14 Belmont in Friday's second semifinal. At Logansport, there's only one game on Tuesday. That's 15-4 Northwestern against 10-12 Twin Lakes. The winner will face the host Berries, who are 11-9 in Friday's first semifinal. The other quarterfinals are Wednesday, 10-11 Western against 18-4 and 13th ranked West Lafayette. The Red Devils beat the Panthers 71-60 in Rushville on January 3rd. Then it's defending champion Maconaquah against Peru. The Braves are 3-18. The Tigers 6-13. Those winners play each other in the second semifinal on Friday. And at Newcastle, 2 quarterfinals on Tuesday. It'll be 12th ranked Jay County, 18-3, and winners of 17 of their last 18 against 13-7 Yorktown, which has won 7 straight. Then the host Trojans, 10-10, will take on 12-9 Hamilton Heights. The Huskies have won 12 of their last 13. The Jay County Yorktown winner will face 13-9 Connorsville in Friday's first semifinal, and 13-9 Delta will face either Newcastle or Hamilton Heights. Class 2A has most of our interest here at the Central Indiana Sports Report. All 3 sectionals fall within our coverage area. All 3 are in the northern half of the draw. We start at Manchester with 2 quarterfinals on Tuesday. 14-8 Eastern against 5-16 Wabash, with the winner facing 8-11 Rochester on Friday. Then second-ranked Oak Hill, 19-1, takes on 10-10 Manchester, with the winner taking on 13-7 Lewis Cass in Friday's second semifinal. At Elwood in the first round on Tuesday, it'll be 5-15 Tipton against 14-7 Taylor, with the winner facing 17-3 Sheridan in Friday's semifinals. The second quarterfinal Tuesday is the big one. 15-5 LaPel against 16-5 Frankton. The 14th ranked Bulldogs beat the 12th ranked Eagles 60-59 at Frankton on January 10th in a wild one. The winner faces 10-13 Elwood in Friday's second semifinal. 2 of the sectional favorites will go head-to-head in the first game at Eastbrook. It'll be 16-6 Blackford against 13-8 Alexandria, followed by 5-15 Madison Grant against 8-12 Burris. The Blackford Alexandria winner will take on the host Panthers, who are 12-8 in Friday's first semifinal, followed by 3-time defending champion Wabahani against either Madison Grant or Burris in the second semifinal. In Class A in the north at Clinton Central, Tuesday's only game is 9 and 12 Carroll against 4 and 15 Traders Point Christian. The winner takes on the sectional favorite, 7th ranked Rossville, in Friday's first semifinal. Wednesday's first round winners will take on each other in Friday's second semifinal. That's 12 and 10 Bethesda Christian against defending state champion Clinton Prairie. The Gophers 5 and 16. Then 15 and 6 Frontier against the host Bulldogs, who are 2 and 18. Class A at West Dell still in the North, 2 quarterfinals on Tuesday and 2 on Wednesday. In the top half, 4 and 15 Southern Wells against 12 and 8 North Miami. Then 7 and 15 Tri-Central against 3 and 18 Northfield. The Trojans and Norse will play Friday in the regular season finale. On the bottom half, 3 and 16 Daleville takes on 5 and 15 West Dell. And 5th ranked and 17 and 3 Southwood against 5 and 14 Cowan. Southwood the favorite in that sectional. And in the South at Indiana Def, there are 2 quarterfinals on Tuesday and 2 more on Wednesday. 8 and 12 Anderson Prep faces 2 and 12 International on Tuesday's second semifinal, following 14 and 7 Purdue Broad Ripple and 6 and 15 Indiana Def. Sectional favorite, 4-time defending champion and 8th ranked Liberty Christian plays the first game on Wednesday against winless MTI Knowledge, before 2 and 14 Tinley against 9 and 10 Indiana Math and Science in the final quarterfinal. And finally, your Indiana Pacers have lost 3 straight and are at home Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday against the 76ers, Hornets, and Grizzlies. Of course, we will have more on those games throughout the week. The Pacers report with Mike Rich will be late Monday, talking about tanking and the development of Jarris Walker and Quentin Jackson in 26. IU's at Northwestern on Tuesday. We'll have our IU report with Grant Schaus and Mike Hutzel immediately after the game. And Purdue is at home against Michigan State on Thursday. We'll be previewing that one on the Purdue report with Jake Dunn first thing Wednesday, hopefully. Thanks so much for joining me and my friends. We'll be back tomorrow. Please join us. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.